Check, check, check. All right, we are live. All right, so I know everyone's been waiting for me to do an update and tell what I thought about Joe Rogan having Bob Lazar in Area 51, Bob Lazar and Jeremy Corbell and on his program and everything. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I went to AlienCon this weekend, and I'm gonna make some just quick comments. I'm gonna lay out the core facts on Bob Lazar for anyone who doesn't know my opinion on him, and I'm gonna explain why his theory is basically falls under this category, or what we call unobtainium. Go ahead and read that while I get some pictures ready for y'all. All right. So anyways, I met some people at AlienCon that have direct contacts and connections to Joe Rogan, including a guy who's going on Joe Rogan next week, and he's going to drop my name and show Joe all my information. So get fucking ready for it. It's about to go down. I am dead serious. I got so much awesome stuff. You guys are going to be so pumped when you hear all this information that I got to share. All right. So I flew out to LA to the convention center. That's my boy I met up with, and he's going to hook me up with a couple guys that he knows too, who are involved in some stuff, including David Adair, who's leaving the country soon apparently to go work for the United. Well, I can't say exactly where he's going, but he's going to basically be building another space program according to my source. All right, so anyways, I got so much stuff that went on this week, and I gotta like focus. So we went to AlienCon. This was us getting on KTLA Live Channel News. This guy was out front with the news van, and he was walking in, and I just started talking to him and I started telling him about all the stuff that was going on, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I guess I could get you on the news." So anyways, he got me on KTLA Channel 5 in LA, like on at like 10:30 a.m. and I was on for like 2 minutes with Mark, my partner for Falcon space program, which we've launched to basically start our own laboratory to investigate all the real tech that's going on out there, not the Element 115, but the real stuff I'm about to show you. And I friggin' dropped the bomb on like a whole bunch of stuff and my website on KTLA Live, which went out to like 2 million people. And I don't know, I can't find the video on their website, dude. I've been looking for it everywhere, trying to find like the video. They said they have all the live streams like recorded somewhere. I don't know. I haven't been able to find it. I don't know if you need a subscription or what, but if anyone is like an expert in media and knows how to go back and find archives of TV shows, I need to get that friggin' flick, dude. It probably got taken down right away as soon as their censors or whoever went and checked out my website and saw what it was all about. I'm sure that they have people in the intelligence community that censor a lot of their stuff when stuff like this almost gets out. So anyways, unobtainium, that's what I call Bob Lazar. An Element 115. It's basically they hang the apple too far out there for anyone to be able to reach it. And I don't have all the video clips queued to show you where Bob Lazar says it all, but in the interview he did, I think a couple years back, where he's sitting in the library and doesn't have glasses on, he has like contacts on or something. He in that interview he says that you need a particle accelerator like the size of the solar system. That's what the aliens have to make this stable isotope, Element 115. And I'll believe Bob on the Element 115. People keep telling me on Twitter he's going to come out with it and show it that it's real and all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, well then I'll believe him if he shows it. But until then, I'm going to show you guys the real stuff that's going on, guys. All right, so I met a bunch of cool people out at AlienCon, including Richard Dolan, who, as many of you know, he's kind of partnered with Corbell a little bit, and he doesn't quite realize. I don't know what he doesn't agree with my stance on Lazar, and some of the videos I put out on Lazar were pretty brutal, and especially with how mad I get with Dan Benkert, my friend and fellow researcher who has done some of the best. He's like the expert on Bob Lazar, and I'm so focused on the real technology now that I don't even want to talk about Bob, because that's exactly what the friggin' what the disinfo agents who are running the show right now want to happen. They want us distracted right now talking about the 30-year-old disinfo. They don't want people talking about the real stuff. We met Travis Walton, Fire in the Sky. I no longer believe what Dan told me about him, and I may have said about him in some past podcasts because what Dan told me. But I think that Travis Walton's a great guy, and I believe that he sounds like he's telling the truth to me, and I don't want to go there with him. It's not the battle I need to fight right now at all. I believe him 100%, and that's that. But well, I don't believe him 100%. You know what I mean? I'm a scientist. I question everything, and I always go back on everything that I think that I feel like this could be true, and I really feel like it's true. But I always second guess everything, and you need to in this world, because if you don't, then you're gonna fall for bullshit, and you're gonna get totally absorbed into bullshit, and for years, and you don't know how many people who thought they knew about anti-gravity that I talked to, that I just let them talk, man, and I shared some of my information with them. But this is the first thing I showed to Richard Dolan, that really got his attention, and just established who I am and what I'm about. But it's this was the 35 papers, or 38 papers that were written in conjunction with the ATIP program, that were just unclassified and stuff, and they have to deal with all some really interesting subjects, which I've covered in previous videos, and I'll recover the key ones here. But metallic glasses and metallic spintronics, warp, and some of these theories on warp drive, extra dimensions, the Obasoi, and also the Eric Davis and Hal Puthoff stuff. Very interesting stuff. Now, I want to put together some other. Let me just get into the real deal. So basically, what we're looking for is we're looking for a material with very nonlinear optical properties. That can basically support the type of excitons that we need. And the real key to this is something called excitons. All right, and I know, I'm sorry, I should have just blown this word right off the bat, but you can go to sciencedirect.com and type in excitons, and then there's a certain type of exciton that we need with a certain type of eigenfunction and eigenvalues. It basically has to do with quantum entanglement and creating weakly entangled pairs, where the other pair has to do something else, like very special. I won't go into too much detail about like the real specifics of all this stuff, because some of it is like, I don't want to give away all the key secrets, but we are very, very close. I mean, there are people out there building these things already, and they know how they work, and they're testing them. They're building this stuff and testing it right now. This is like part of this whole thing that's going on right now. I'm telling people, and I've been telling people, and everyone's listening to Bob Lazar, and everyone's talking about Bob Lazar and wanting me to talk about Bob Lazar, and I'm not going to talk about 30-year-old unobtainium disinfo. And Joe Rogan, you need to wake up, bro. And I swear to God, I hope you watch this video. I hope you're watching it right now. And if you're not, I'm gonna get it out to you. Believe that, next week. So you just wait, because we're gonna blow up the real bomb on what this technology really is. And I'm sorry, I'm so like just excited. I haven't really slept since I've been back from California, and I've been up. I tried to go to sleep an hour ago, and I was just sitting on my couch, and all I can think about is this stuff. And you need to get on and do a live video, but I'm like so tired that I can't. I don't want to. I just want to go to bed because I have to work tomorrow morning at like 6 a.m. And so anyways, I'm just really tired, and but I just had to get this video out and talk about some of this information. But basically, if we create these layered metamaterials, and I want to talk about a whole bunch of stuff right now. I'm gonna keep going and getting into some stuff. All right, so I want you to check out one of the guys I met up at MIT at the Cold Fusion conference, was this guy from Fract Antenna, this dude David Cohen, and I have a video lecture of his posted, I think, on Cold Fusion now, or maybe on my channel too, somewhere, if you look up David Cohen fractal metamaterials. So he talks about fractal antennas and fractal metamaterials and other fractal innovations. Basically, with he basically the whole idea, I want to go back. I'm going to go way back. This is a guy named Peter Merlin. All right, and he's like the expert on this Area 51 business. Done tons of research and all into a lot of stuff that's going on out there. He's visited crash sites and recovered materials and debris of craft that they've been flying and testing out there. And one of the things what he recovered and he talked about like way back in the day was this stuff called wallpaper. And I gotta find a picture of it. It's like a, well, I'm not gonna find wallpapers. It's a cloaking material that was this cardboard. Peter Merlin, Area 51. I gotta find the video with it in it, but he's got this. This guy does mad research in the Area 51, really into it, and he has this stuff called wallpaper, and it's basically the idea is that if you paint on with metallic paint or the right type of material with the right type of response properties to frequencies, like a grid pattern. What they notice is that if you print a grid with this correct spacing that's tuned where that spacing in the grid, the length between basically the length of one side of those squares is tuned to the length of whatever the wavelength is of whatever radar frequency you want to be invisible to, like. They found that there's a radar response to anything that's coded with the grid being corresponding to the same wavelengths or corresponding wavelengths. That there's weird quantum effects that happen, basically. So what they would do is they'd go to, the Russians, they go to Russia and they pick up with their antenna what frequency the Russian radar was broadcasting at, and then they would tune they would build a grid pattern with the same wavelength, with the same spacing as the wavelength of that radar signature, so that they could code it with this material, this coating that would make it less radar absorbent. It would make it radar absorbent or radar invisible. It's basically one of those types of materials. They didn't understand how it worked or what it did at the time, but later they did a whole frequency band testing, where they I don't know, I can't think of the words for this right now because I'm just so tired, but they basically I feel like someone fried my brain out at AlienCon or something, man. Maybe the aliens did it. But anyways, this metamaterial stuff is really interesting, and it's a key to a lot of the technology that was going on out there in the 1980s that Bob should have seen if he really worked out there, but didn't. In any case, these metamaterials, very interesting stuff. These have been studied out there since that wallpaper stuff was probably developed back in the 70s. That was on the U-2 spy plane, but they abandoned it because it was like too heavy. Now, another interesting inside fact is, the paint on the F-117 stealth fighter, that black paint, is actually a radar absorbent paint. Not this white one, but this black paint right here. And they put an additive in the paint called barium titanate. That's the key. That's the key chemical or material with the right nonlinear optical properties that has this radar frequency response that they needed, and to make it more radar absorbent. So it's in fact, even the paint on the stealth aircraft has this sort of nanotechnology built into it as well. Now, another thing that happened, but it's gotten more kind of advanced recently, because you can build grids that work for microwave frequencies or whatever, down to a certain wavelength, wavelengths that are within, like, I'd say a millimeter to an inch or bigger, around that size. But if you want to go smaller, you really need either 3D printing or what was developed at MIT, atomic printing, where they can it's basically like laser tweezers atoms, where they basically are building optical tweezers. That's what they're called, optical tweezers, and they're laser tweezers, and they can nudge, they can use them to nudge individual atoms, and they can build things with individual atoms, which is really freaking crazy. But this is what the technology they've actually been developing to try to build atomic 3D printers so that they can print these crystals and these types of materials atom by atom. And there's, let me find the paper on this. That was actually, it's cited in that, it's cited right in that, sorry, this recently unclassified Defense Intelligence Agency reference document. Let me find that real quick. It's called Metallic Glasses right here by Dr. T. Huffnagel. I was showing all this stuff off at AlienCon and explaining it to people, and including the guy from the news, and including a lot of anyone who had time and took the time to come over and talk to us and listen to us. So where's the paper though? Huffnagel. Search for Huffnagel. Huffnagel. Let's see this. Yeah, this is like material of the future. Yeah, this is classified research at its finest. If you want real stuff, that's not element 115 BS. In fact, one of the main guys you really need to read if you want the theoretics of it to give to your physics buddy or whoever, if you're the physics guy, is Jack Sarfatti. And Jack Sarfatti recently posted this 2 hours ago, which I thought was hilarious, and I linked to it in the description so people can go and thumb this up and share it and retweet it. But he said he found out about Bigelow funding Lazar. This is hilarious because people don't know this, but Bob Bigelow gave Bob Lazar billions of dollars, like $1 million. I don't know the exact amount. Not a billion. Bob Lazar, Bigelow is a billionaire, and he gave Bob Lazar over $1 million. I know that, to build his own particle accelerator, and he was supposed to get him the element 115 that he needed, and like it's so bad, the story. It got covered up because he basically, I heard that Bigelow hired a bunch of real physicists to kind of like peek in him and test Bob Lazar and see what he was doing, and they caught on to him that he was like, nah, this guy doesn't know a thing, and he's just pulling your leg, and they shut it all down, and like it disappeared, which is like hilarious because Jack must have found out about it now too, and posted this. This is just great, man. Bigelow is desperate. That's why he is very desperate and very I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Well, all right, sounds cool, but still don't know. I know. Hey, well, this isn't for the people who really. This is for people who really want to know more information, about the real stuff. So, again, my whole thing on Bob Lazar is even if he did work out there, it seems like he was brought out there, shown some real stuff, but fed disinformation and fed misinformation. But again, it's kind of weird that if you look up, where is it? Huh? I can't find it now. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about Bob Lazar at all. I'm not, because that's exactly what they want me to do. So these optical tweezers, they can pick up atom by atom and actually build these types of crazy crystals. Another type of material that I thought was really interesting is Quasi Crystal. The Quasi Crystals are super neat because they're three-dimensional projections of five-dimensional objects, or five-dimensional crystals. That's why they have five-fold symmetry. So if you want to access higher dimensions, it would be really good to use quasi crystals because they exist in 3 dimensions. You could probably, power them up with some resonant frequencies and access higher dimensions using them. Right there. Very interesting materials. Again, this isn't necessarily what we're looking for with regards to It may or may not be, but this is really going to be the key. Is when we have the ability to do a large scale a 3D atomic printing. It's going to be it's going to revolutionize our technology and the way we do things. Also, growing crystals. Crystals are typically grown, and on Earth it's hard to grow crystals because of gravity. Actually, gravity kind of messes things up when you try to grow crystals with gravity. So they found that crystals grow a lot better and a lot purer, and you can grow a lot more interesting crystals if you grow them in a microgravity environment, like zero gravity, like in space. So there's been a lot of work on NASA crystal growth in space, if you look that up. Another big thing going on with classified materials, they say that it's for anything you can find on it. They'll say it's for biological research or something else. But believe that a lot of the crystal growth being done in space is related to these types of material science investigations, which are, of course, applicable to the issue of building a UFO. Now, I think there's more than one craft out that they have out there, definitely. There's different ways to achieve, active propulsion or lift in a craft that aren't necessarily anti-gravity, but are nonetheless useful. And so I'm going to be doing a special on this coming up soon, the ARV. And talking a little bit about, Mark McCandish's ARV, this alien reproduction vehicle. We're going to be talking a little bit more about the physics, about how this works, the real physics, coming up soon. But this is, I believe, one of several different types of craft that they've developed. We're going to talk about this one next week. I'll talk about a couple other ones first, though. Project Skyvault. That was where they practiced with using microwave radiation to ionize the air under a disk, to kind of, they basically, like, they blast it in the air, like pops, and it creates a little mini explosion, which they use to kind of jettison this disk up in the air for propulsion. That was it was something they tried, it was something they looked at, but it was again not really anti-gravity and not really useful for much of anything. The way you could power a craft like this from the ground, theoretically or hypothetically. But so, anyways, another one is the, of course, I'll go to my website and search for TR3B. So now you search for TR3B, and even if I search for TR3B AlienScientist, I'm not getting my page. I'm getting a lot of other stuff. But anyways, this is another craft, is that TR3B that my friend Ed Fouché disclosed or blew the whistle on back in 1998, which I've never seen. Tons of people have seen this thing, including a friend of mine who I never talked to about UFOs in my life, but recently I was like talking to him about UFOs, and he showed me a picture of a video of this TR3B on his phone, and he tried to send it to me, and it got stuck sending. It said it was sending and sending, and then it disappeared off his phone, like literally. This happened like last week, and weird ass stuff. Tons of people have seen this thing. There's couple videos online, but most of the real ones seem to get taken down. There's a lot of fake ones up there of it, but tons of people have actually seen this thing, including several people I talked to at the conference who didn't seem that crazy. There were a lot of crazies there. Most of them didn't stop and talk to us, though, luckily. There was a cult, I think, right next to us. I'm not sure what it was, but I didn't talk to them because I thought it was a cult, and a lot of people surprisingly stopped and talked to them, and it was kind of freaky. But Ed Fouché died in 2016, and literally 2 days after he died, this patent came out. Third Phase of the Moon and Secure Team 10 were both given this patent, I think on purpose, as disinformation, so that they think it was real info. They blew this big story up on it, and now that's like the leading thing when you search for TR3B. And recently connected with Tyler of Secure Team 10 on Twitter, because I was part of a group of like debunkers kind of harassing these big channels into like, why don't you guys report on some real stuff. So he kind of like approached all of us, I guess, individually, asking for constructive criticism, and actually I got his ear. So I'm gonna show him this and tell him about this, because like he really needs to do a video on this to correct this, if anything. And uh, I'm gonna definitely bring that to his attention, because that's a simple video he could do. I mean, I was thinking about telling him, I started telling him about all this other stuff, all that polariton and exciton stuff, but even though he's got a huge audience, his viewership, those people aren't ready for this stuff. That's why you're here, and that's why people come here. So yeah, I don't really like Secure Team 10 either. It's really for third graders, I think. But anyways, we're here in college, hopefully, trying to understand some real stuff. So I don't think what Tesla did in the 1920s was real anti-gravity either. I think he had a lot of other interesting ideas on electromagnetics and ways to use electromagnetism for different. He's a genius when it came to understanding and manipulating electric and magnetic fields, and wiring and all that kind of stuff. He was definitely a genius at that. But Tesla, I mean, didn't really believe in quantum mechanics or relativity, which were just coming out in the 1920s at that time. And Tesla was kind of in his own world against like all that stuff, which now after so many years is kind of coming together with these polariton exciton things and this material science stuff to give us the real answers of, I believe, the real answers of how this stuff works. Oh no, I got to contact this person. This is Maria Zuber. She's the professor of geophysics and vice president for research at MIT. And she recently asked to be debriefed on this ATIP stuff and some of the technology. So I'm going to go ahead and send her a link to this video after I'm done, so that she can learn some of this stuff that I've been learning about for 15 years of digging in and researching this and knowing, some of the whistleblowers personally, like Ed Fouché, who was a personal friend of mine up until about 2011 or 12, when he decided to dox me over a fight we had on the forums, which weren't getting enough attention. We had this forum that was getting a lot of views, a lot of content was up there, and it was getting a lot. And he brought some new admin on that I think that when Ed was drunk, he'd do like weird stuff, but he doxed me, and so I got pissed at him, and I went on like a rampage trying to basically find anything I could do to disprove him, and I really tried hard and thought about and did a lot of research for about a number of years trying to debunk the hell out of him, or anything I could find to say how did he know about quasi crystals and metamaterials back in 1998 when no one else was talking about those? Can I find any other like mainstream mention of these things anywhere? Was he in a science magazine? You can find with the Bob Lazar stuff if you look it up, the May 1989 issue of Scientific American. I have it right here. Yeah, so if you look up the May 1989 issue of Scientific American, there's a whole article in there about nuclear artistry and how to forge the heaviest elements on the periodic table, and it talks about element 114, the island of stability, and how there's this theoretical limit at element 114. They didn't think you could go past it really at the time, back when this article was written. And indeed, it took quite a while for it to be discovered. But when it eventually was, Bob was, wasn't stable as Bob had claimed. They've discovered 4 or 5 isotopes so far, and none of them are stable. But it's just interesting that anyone who read this article would have known that element 115 was the perfect thing to pick. That not a lot of people would create it, and it could didn't say anything about anti-gravity in this article, but it just basically they knew that anyone who read this article would know that element 115 is like a great thing to pick and say. And it's just surprising that this article was published the same month that the same exact month and year that Bob supposedly was working at S4. So I tried really hard to find that kind of, a docs or something to really, aha, Ed Fouché, got it here, or, did this, but I couldn't find anything like that, man. And I have to say, Ed was the real deal. Ed was I don't know about the TO3B. I'm not completely sold on that yet. I know a lot of people have seen it. It seems plausible. I've been like, these people who've seen it, like, kind of convinced me that it's real. But again, I don't have any proof. I don't have any evidence. I've never seen it myself, and I don't know. But I really feel like it could be. In any case, this is the kind of real science and research that's going on right now with antimatter, gravity, and understanding anti-gravity. So they're doing a lot of tests with antimatter to see if antimatter is repulsive or attractive to gravity. Could you imagine if they found that gravity was, that antimatter was anti-gravitic? Could you imagine? That would be the huge breakthrough. So this is something we don't understand yet. We don't know what antimatter is, and we don't know if it is anti-gravitic. But there's a lot of research being done to try to figure out if it is or not. And I think it's very on the top of the list there with stuff that's going on right now in the world. In any case, yeah, Jack Sarfatti. This is the stuff you want to read and be studying and learning. The warp drive for dummies is a good one to start with. And I'm just letting you know that we are very close to cracking this. We met some potential investors out at AlienCon, and a lot of stuff going on. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of other groups working on this stuff. I don't think they have a lot of the same ideas as us, but I think that we're very close to getting some stuff out there, and especially if this info can get out to Rogan now that his interest is piqued on the subject, thanks to Bob Lazar. So thanks, Bob Lazar, for that. Yeah, if antimatter was anti-gravitic, it would totally redefine mainstream physics, and it would, yeah. So that would be huge, and we don't know yet. It could be. It very well could be. Yeah. You can find all the right information. You just have to know where to look. It's quasi crystals again. Tons of stuff in the literature about them. Another thing I wanted to talk about too was polaritons. I was looking at polaritons in on Wikipedia, and I was just going through all the papers that were referenced. I'm going to try to find this paper I found. It was from 2014. And let me find that. It was that polariton laser thing with the jellyfish. So it was about these polariton lasers. Okay, yeah. I was looking at polariton lasers and the stuff about the jellyfish. And I found this paper here. This is it. There's one where they basically said that they they built a room temperature superconductor. It's right here. So check this out. They found this polariton laser could be built with the right type of it's a room temperature low threshold transition to a coherent polariton state in bulk gallium nitride. So gallium nitride is a great material to start with and look at, and that's not that expensive to get. Microcavities in the strong coupling regime. Non-resident pulsed optical pumping produces rapid thermalization and yields a clear emission threshold of 1 megawatt, corresponding to absorbed energy density of 29 millijoules per centimeter squared. Negative 2. And so it's 1 over that. Yeah. The order of magnitude is basically pumping spectroscopy. Yeah, so this is cool stuff. They've reached room temperature lasing effects, or basically a room temperature condensate, almost like a room temperature superconductor, but it's It's a polariton laser. It's an exciton condensate. Very, very cool stuff we're doing with materials now. I've been talking to Santilli a little bit about what he, you know, and he finally gave me, not Santilli, Sarfatti. Sarfatti, and I'm trying to get the whole, you know, this, I'm trying to get more in touch with the key people out there who are actually doing this research and know what the heck is going on with this and learn as much as I can. Because this is going to be the hugest freaking thing that happens, like, ever. This is going to be the biggest thing ever when this all comes out and all this information, all this technology just hits the mainstream. I think what they're waiting for us to do is that they're now like, all right, well, here are the keys. Let's see if the kids can figure out how to start the car. You know what I mean? It's almost like they've done that. Like, let's see if the kids can figure out how to put this all together, and you know what I mean? And we're doing it. We're freaking doing it. We don't have all the pieces of the puzzle yet. We have a ton of pieces of the puzzle, and we have the whole border done, most of the area filled in. We're just trying to now fill in a couple more pieces to get the whole picture. And believe me, we're doing it. And we're not getting the attention we deserve, thanks to Bob Lazar and other people. And that's why I'm not gonna talk about the unobtainium anymore. It's just I keep saying that, but I keep bringing them up. I know. I'm sorry. I'm bad. Yeah, where's my toilet? I should go flush Bob Lazar down there. Yeah, do your own research. I'm just showing you places to look, and you got to do your own research. I can't put it all together and give it all to you. I wish I could, but I don't have time to do that, and I'm too freaking tired. Oh, Mark's calling in. Holy crap! Let's get some feedback from Mark. Yeah, let's talk more about AlienCon, Mark, and let everyone know what happened.
Yo, Jeremy, I'm live here with my buddy who's going on Rogan. You want to meet him?
Yes, I do.
Here we go. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good.
So I'm actually doing a live stream right now too, and we're talking about Rogan and the whole Bob Lazar thing, and how he's really convinced that Bob's the real deal.
Yeah. I'll leave that to Yisrael. I'm not Mark. Sorry, I'm not holding too much on that, but big fan of Joe Rogan. He has our cards. He's gonna give him our cards, and we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, tell him that I'm like, I know the stuff, like I know Bob Lazar inside out, and I know even more than that guy. Like, and I can tell him the real physics and show him the real stuff. Like Bob Lazar, man, it's just. I'm glad that he got his attention and got him into this, man, because I'm gonna, like, when I hit him with the real stuff, he's gonna be like, you know what I mean? It's I can't wait. I hope this comes together. I really do.
Yeah, so Jeremy, AlienCon was the bomb, wasn't it?
Huh?
AlienCon was the bomb.
Oh, it was the bomb? Yeah, I was, dude. Oh my god, I had a blast. I can't even, like. I want to show some pictures off of all the stuff that happened too. I'm gonna go ahead and get some pictures going. Everyone knows we got arrested by the Men in Black.
Yeah, it was fun. That was outside. It was a perfect photo shoot, and I think the AlienCon staff photographer got a picture of that too.
Yeah, man. I hope that goes up. They're like, "Where is the dossier? I need the documents."
Yeah, well, we know that the Men in Black are probably not real. Sort of as a test, I just left some of my important papers at the table overnight to see what would happen, and they were there in the morning. So I think at this point, if you want to open up a lab and try these experiments and are a little worried about the Men in Black coming knocking on your door, you have nothing to fear.
It's safe.
Not real.
They ain't coming for you, bro. They're letting I was just saying is like they basically like giving the kids the keys and like they're waiting to see if we can figure out how to start the car.
Exactly, exactly. Um, it was great being at AlienCon. I think I perfected the theory, this latest theory based on the Alzafan paper. If you got a minute, I just want to share it with the crowd.
Yeah, the Alzafan paper. I'm gonna bring that up real quick for them. And so this is gravity control with present technology. Dr. Frederick Alzafan. His son wrote a book. This is his son, Dr. Frederick Alzafan, but his father was the other Alzafan. I'm not sure his name, but this was there's a 1981 Boeing. You gotta search for Alzafan gravity control 1981 Boeing. Yeah, here it is, and you'll find it right there. I'll post it right up in the comments there. And so go ahead.
Basically, the theory is he gives a nice explanation to what matter actually is. Matter is what causes gravity, so that's really what we should be concerned with. So what his explanation for matter is similar to a fidget spinner. When you have a fidget spinner spinning or any gyroscope, you're free to move it on two axes, either the flat plane or the up and down. So if you can view that as a subatomic particle, just like a ring of energy spinning around, similar to a fidget spinner but weightless, a whole bunch of them in different orientations, all mixed together. That is what the core of an atom is. So if you try to move it through space-time in any which direction, you'll be changing the spin on the different subatomic particles, causing the effects of inertial mass. The way to negate the inertial mass is to get all of the spins oriented in one direction, similar to the way you have regular light and laser light, which is coherent light. Thing two, anti-gravity, according to him, is coherent mass. Regular mass is incoherent, where everything's facing different directions, complete randomness. Coherent mass is where you have all of the precessions in the exact same direction. And once you achieve that state, the craft becomes weightless. All you need is to turn on a bright light, or turn on your M drive or something like that, and boom, you fly off the speed of light. And what's interesting is Bob Lazar, in one of his videos, I actually told this to Richard Dolan, and he didn't even remember it, but there was one video of Bob Lazar, and I sent this to you, Jeremy, where he mentions that the tubing, the connection for the gravity generators to move the gravity waves around looked very similar to microwave tubing. And I believe the reason for that is because it was microwaves. You need microwaves to energize the electrons to help polarize, to help orient the nuclei of the atom, according to this Alzafan theory. So it makes perfect sense to me right now. All we're doing is trying to get all the parts together, run this Alzafan experiment. Oh, and I also met a couple people from the deep state who actually claimed to have worked on the Alzafan experiment. They were way ahead of me. They were asking questions about different materials to use. One of them recommended we use a rare earth element. And he told me that he tried this experiment while working for the government, and the results are classified. So there's something real going on with the Alzafan experiment.
Right. Indeed. We'll have to check it out and add it to the list of experiments that we're going to have to do in our lab. And how was your flight back?
Oh, it was 5 hours of sleep.
I slept a little bit. I couldn't sleep on the first part because I didn't have like a neck pillow. I had to stop. I stopped off on my layover in Detroit and grabbed a neck pillow. And then
these conferences are extremely tiring. I met Richard Dolan in the airport. We were actually sitting right across from each other in the waiting booth. His wife and my wife, they didn't even realize each other until I came in with Dolan. And yeah, we were talking for a good half hour about Bob Lazar and stuff. He likes the theory that Bob was telling the truth about what he saw and what he heard, but what he heard was bullshit. That's a theory that he likes to go with. He thinks Bob Lazar is honest and truthful about what he saw and heard, but down to element 115. Element 115 is bunk. And element 116, most importantly, which is supposed to be antimatter, is not antimatter. It's highly radioactive, but it ain't antimatter. So that whole story is probably what he was actually looking at with that reactor, the basketball-sized reactor, was probably a thorium reactor. So that's what makes sense to me.
Interesting. Well, I'm finally feeling tired again, I think. I might go to bed soon. I just was like gonna go to bed, but I was like, I gotta do a live stream and talk about this, like all the stuff that happened before I forget, or before it just it's too late to even matter anymore. People don't care anymore or something. So
anyways, Danny's gonna be there next week. He's not on the set. He's just watching from the stands, and he's gonna meet Rogan, hand him our business card, and hopefully we'll get you on.
yeah, that would be cool, man. I would love to share my story and all the info I've uncovered and how I went through it all, and I'll share even more stuff that I haven't even shared yet. If I want. I don't know. I gotta think about that, because how much I want to, But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I went on Rogan. Like there's so much I could talk about. I'd have to like pick one thing. Like, and I really think he should have Dan Benkert go on Joe Rogan first with Bob Lazar and a team of physicists. Man, like really put that motherfucker in front.
Bob would never do that. I think Bob deep down knows that his story is based on lies. And he always puts it in quotes. He says, "This is what they told me. This is what they said. This is what I saw." Because that's the truth part about it. They told him bullshit, and he knows it's bullshit.
Well, I hope he figures out that it is now. But like, it's like, dude, like, please just go away. Like, people are paying attention to you, and they shouldn't be. Like, you have nothing. You have nothing to say. Oh, like 90% of the people that like we asked about, like I was literally pulling people out. I was like, what do you know about anti-gravity? Can you tell me? And they're like, oh, element 115. Like 90%, 9 out of 10 of the people, 9 out of 10 people I asked said that, and the rest of them said like, oh, the insect wings, or the insect shit, and it's called biogravitics. It's biogravitics. This guy Grebenikov, that's the Russian guy Grebenikov. He said he was experimenting with insect wings, and like he coated the bottom of this platform with him, and there's pictures of him like flying on this little platform, but it's like looks so photoshopped. It's like it's bad, bro. It's bad. It's really bad. How so dumbed down people are from understanding the real stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. We had a printout of unobtainium. We were just handing it out to people left and right. Everybody had to read about what unobtainium was. There was actually a conference on Bob Lazar at AlienCon. It was on the first day toward the beginning, so we were still setting up. We didn't manage to make it to that conference. But in a later conference, I went in to ask a question. And right when they saw me, they shut the entire panel of questions down as soon as I was the next one in line.
Right. But I knew. I didn't even bother trying to go in because they wouldn't have let me on. They would have freaked out. They would have.
There was some fishy stuff going on. Remember, we got Brandenburg. There was some really crazy.
Yeah, this other guy, Brandenburg, who was presenting on anti-gravity, and we were trying to get on one of his panels so we could get up there, and we were trying to talk. He actually wanted to come to our booth and check out our stuff after one of his lectures, so we were waiting for him. And this the staff from AlienCon was trying to kick us out, and she's like, "You guys have to leave." And there's like a room full of people. She's supposed to be clearing the room, but she wasn't like concerned with anyone else but us, and just trying to get us out of there. There's some weird fishy shit going on there, man. I definitely agree. And like I really want to get in there as a speaker and to come in there, one of these years as a speaker and get a whole presentation together on all the metamaterial stuff, all the fractal antenna stuff, all the quasi crystal stuff, and just put it all in like a big friggin' summary report for people to see. But
I think Tesla Tech is where it's at. AlienCon is more for ancient alien fans. Tesla Tech is where the technology is discussed openly. We were the only people at AlienCon discussing this openly, and people loved it. We were like rock stars, literally.
Yeah, a couple of people told us we were rock stars there. They're like, "You guys are rock stars here, man. Everyone's talking about you." I was like, "Hell yeah, that's what's up." because we just dropped some real information on like that people weren't even ready for, and we dropped it on KTLA Live on 10:30 a.m. Like, we got to find that archive of that footage, and someone's got to be able to track that down for us. Please, somebody, like, find that for me and email it to me.
I called them up. They said to shoot them an email. I shot them an email. Haven't heard a response yet.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Yeah, so I don't know where it is. What's
I've been having like weird vibes from that. Like, I got like the wrong people like looking at me now. I did that. It's bad, bro.
People actually showed up. People came.
Yeah, people showed up at AlienCon and were like, "We saw you on TV." That was so sick, bro. They were like, "We saw you on TV and we had to come down. You were talking about anti-gravity." And like, this one guy, he like stayed and talked to me for 2 hours, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think he was a bit crazy too.
Yeah, he was, but whatever. I'll talk to anybody as long as they'll listen. You know, that's what I'm there for. You know.
Yeah. I think we really blew the lid on anti-gravity. We made it a mainstream topic there at AlienCon. People were talking about it left and right, and literally, it's the key to everything ancient aliens, to everything alien.
Yeah, it's the key to aliens. It's the best, most important thing that anyone could be into and researching in this field right now, for real, hands down.
Right, we found some investors. People were very pumped about this stuff, and all we're doing right now is going over the experiments, making sure we're going to buy the right equipment, the right frequencies, the right strength magnets, whatever else is needed. We even found a metallurgist there that's going to help us put the aluminum mix together for the sample. So it all falls into place.
Oh man, I got trolls on my channel too. This is great. I'm gonna start blocking them. I gotta find another admin to sit here and run this for me. But hi Renee, and hi. Who else has been here? David. Yeah, Dave Griffin. Who else? Freaking, I want to give a shout out to. Let me see.
I want to give a shout out to whoever it was that posted the Elspan link on our last video. That was a real big help. If anyone knows of any paper that we've never heard of before, post it in the comments. We will read them. Not the live comments; those are harder to find afterwards. But the real comments on this video, we'll follow through. We'll actually read the paper and see if there's anything there.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we're here to like collect all the information anyone has, and if anyone has more stuff, like, I feel like it's time. More and more people are wanting this out, and it's time to come forward now and like get the information out if you have information. Not right now, maybe, but give yourself some time to really put it all together, and then please contact me. Let's do this fully. That's what I'm here for. It was weird on the way home on the train, Mark. I had some guy come up and just stop, just sit. He came up and there was all the other seats were open on the train, and he came and sit directly across from me. And it was weird. He just pulled out his laptop and was just going. And then I started talking to him kind of, about some stuff. And then he asked, he's like, "Would you ever consider working for them if they offered you a job?"
Ooh.
And I was like, I don't think they would ever hire me because I'm like too, because I'm too like out there, and I, I'm really about disclosure. And the fact is, I would never ever sign an NDA ever. Like, I want this information out there. It belongs in the hands of the public, and the people who are the people I know who are working on it right now. I'm almost as afraid of them as I am the Iranians and the Russians and the Chinese who are also working on this too now. It really belongs to the world and the world's people, and I don't even know if we're ready for it, for humanity, but we have to see. I hope we are. So.
It doesn't matter if we are or we aren't. We're destroying the planet with current technology, and things have to change. We can't keep on fighting gravity with these airplanes and cars and stuff. We need to get the real anti-gravity out there. The coherent math.
Guys, Eric Dollard, definitely the real deal. Eric Dollard, definitely the real deal. If you don't know who that is, look him up. So thanks for another shout out. To people are dropping shit right now in the comments for real. This is awesome.
Listen, Jeremy, I'm gonna go. You get some sleep.
It's blocking comments. Good people are dropping good links, and it's I have to unblock them. It's crazy. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go too.
Get this video up there.
Yeah, tell your buddy I can't wait for him to go on Rogan, and we'll expose that fraud physicist, that fake physicist Bob Lazar, and show the real physics of UFO technology to Joe Rogan, and see what he has to say then.
Yeah, totally. That's the deal. And our booth at AlienCon was 515 or 51. It was booth 515.
Pretty crazy, man. Area 51 in a palindrome.
Yep.
Awesome stuff. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I got to go to bed, and wish us luck, and I really hope this all comes together, because this could be epic. Thanks for all your support, guys, and if you haven't yet, check out the Falcon space program. We got a GoFundMe going for our lab. Right now we're raising some serious money. We got some serious investors that we've met at AlienCon and talked to, and we might be pulling some serious money together soon. So if you want to get on the ground level of something that's going to be the next Microsoft or IBM, Apple computers, you might want to get in on this now, for real. And just going to leave it at that.
Check out our other YouTube channel, Falcon Space Program. That's on YouTube. Or you can go to falconspace.org, and that'll take you straight to the YouTube channel, where you can subscribe, like, share, and our email address is falconspaceprogram@gmail.com. You can contact us for investment opportunities and get in on the ground of something that's going to really change this world.
Kudos. And yeah, my personality, I'm a little bit abrasive sometimes, and I'm not going to change that for anyone. Sorry. See you later.